here of YugaTech, and for those people who have an on-the-go style of shooting like vloggers, travelers, and even some professionals, the Sony RX100 point-and-shoot cameras are both popular and highly regarded. So today we're going to be taking a look at the 2018 model, the 6th iteration, the Sony RX100 Mark VI. So to keep things nice and organized, I want to tackle 3 major questions in this review. What's new with the Mark VI? Is it a big improvement over the previous generations? And finally, the big one, is it worth the price? Alright, so first, let's take a look at this. We have a tiny camera that has a length and weight that's smaller than most smartphones, but it's definitely a lot thicker. But it's super pocket friendly. Maybe not your pants pocket, but a jacket pocket should be fine. For the dials at the top and back, we have a dial for choosing modes, a navigation dial, and one for zoom, which is also the shutter button. And with the modes dial, you get a bit of everything. Different degrees of automatic, video mode, panorama, manual mode, etc. For the rest of the buttons, we have function, menu, playback, movie recording, and of course, the power button. So let's turn it on. And when you turn it on, the lens extends outwards. Speaking of the lens, this is one new thing about the Mark VI. It's way longer now with a focal length range of 24 to 200 mm. This replaces the previous generation's 24 to 70 mm lenses. You can zoom in really far now, but there is a pretty significant trade-off. You no longer have a maximum aperture of f1.8, so you're gonna have a little bit more trouble getting those nice blurred backgrounds. Another thing that has changed here is the flip-up display. So the reason why this camera is so popular with vloggers is because it's just as simple as doing this. But what we have now that we didn't have last year is 90 degrees downward tilt, which looks something like this. This is a super useful orientation because top-down shots are easier to take, especially for taking photos of food or flat lays and such. But if the flip screen isn't your thing and you prefer a more raw experience, the RX100 has an electronic viewfinder. It pops up just like this with a flip of a switch, and doing this will also actually turn on the camera. And when you're done using the EVF, it only takes one push down and it's back in the camera, which is so cool. Oh, and if you turn on the camera by pulling out the EVF, pushing it back in will also turn it off. It's quick and there isn't any extra hassle. This is an amazing EVF for outdoor shooting, primarily because it uses an OLED display, so it's really bright. So using the RX100, it's so simple and intuitive. I personally like using the viewfinder more because when my other eye is closed, all I can see is the frame. I get a more personal experience with my shots. It's like it's only me and my camera. And when I want to vlog, I just flip the screen up and basically start talking. Now you can get some pretty nice photos with this thing. A lot of our sample shots were just taken with the program auto mode. You can zoom really far. Autofocus is fast, however, it doesn't really do well in low light. And for video, it's also really good. Details are sharp, the stabilization is on point, and one thing I really like is that we get the PP7 picture profile, also known as S-Log. And it can record in 4K. So with the right lighting conditions, the RX100 can even be used as a B camera alongside our Sony a7S or a7R. Although there's one big disappointment that still hasn't been fixed with this year's generation. So Sony, hi, I'm talking to you. This is supposed to be a vlogger-friendly camera. Why isn't there a microphone jack yet? Seriously. Okay, the built-in microphone is pretty decent, I suppose, but if Sony wants the RX100 to be the standard vlogging camera of the world, then a freaking microphone jack is all we need. If you look at the right side of the camera, the only ports you actually get are HDMI, as well as a micro USB for both charging and data transfer. But I digress. So anyway, we already answered my first question. I've shown you guys what's different with the Mark VI compared to the previous generations. Now, do the changes make it better? Well, not exactly. I wouldn't say that it's absolutely better, but I can definitely say things are different. The viewfinder is more intuitive to use and top-down shots are easier than ever. But the main thing here is that you get a different lens. It's a trade-off basically, a longer lens for a wider aperture one. And to the last question, is it worth the price? So this camera costs a whooping 69,999 pesos, which is no joke. That's a lot of money for such a tiny camera. So here's what I have to say with regards to that. I really like the Mark VI. but I don't think I'd be missing much if I instead opted for a Mark V or even a Mark IV, which I can get for literally half the price. But if you do have the dosh and you want the latest that the Sony RX100 series has to offer, then I totally respect your decision. It's still a great camera that's tiny, but definitely takes way better photos and videos than your smartphone. What do you guys think about the Sony RX100 Mark VI? Do you guys want one? I'm not saying I'm giving you one, but let me know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, get subscribed for more videos like this, and hit the bell icon to get notified every time we have a new upload. Again, this is Kim, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!